All right, welcome in. I hope that you are doing good. I hope you're doing well. I don't really know what an intro is going to be like, and to be honest, I don't know what I'm exactly doing in this one, but this is the first official episode of the NFS Podcast, the Never Fucking Settle Podcast. Now, some context. My name is Daniel Valencia. If you don't know who I am, you don't know what I'm doing here, why there's even a good reason why you should listen to this. Fair points. So I am 21, and I'm just trying to find my way throughout life. Plain and simple, nothing too fancy. I'm not trying to sell you on any terms or any magic thing. I'm just trying to figure out my way through my life and trying to follow my passions, my desires, and trying to work hard throughout that entire process. Now, never fucking settle. What is that? It sounds a bit aggressive. I will give it that much. But there's a reason why there's that aggressive tone and why I choose to use those certain words, those specific words, in spite of definitely other colorful words, other descriptive words that are probably a lot more friendly and would give me a wider base. But that's because that's exactly what I stand for. Now, never fucking settle is an idea that I've been sitting on for a very, 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 very long time. And it's always been something that I didn't know what to give the name to. I always understand the idea of it. I always understood what I want out of life. I always understood the mindset that I want to accomplish, what I want to get. But I could never find a cohesive term or a cohesive statement that would get me to that next step, that next level, that next whatever. And then out of nowhere, I think I was going on a run. I'm pretty sure I was going on a run. It finally clicked. Just never fucking settle. And that term sticks with me. See, I see a lot of things that can go wrong in my life. And I see a lot of mistakes that I've made in the past. And all of that comes together and it starts to formulate my ideas, my way of thinking, the way that I try to process information, the way that I try to process my life. And I realize that every single thing that's led up to this moment has been either, conventionally good or conventionally bad. And what I mean by that is that everything that's led up to this moment has either been a positive or a negative reaction in my life. Now, a positive reaction is not always the right thing, and a negative reaction is not always the wrong thing. They're interchangeable, and you need both to have a balanced life and also a very well thought out, meticulous life. Now, there's a lot of things that people believe are positive and are actually negative, and there's a lot of people that think negative things are actually positive, or vice versa. But there's a lot more than just that, and it requires you to dig a little deeper. See, from my perspective, which I'm a very, very big perspective guy, I like to see what other people are trying to think about, how other people are working, what's going on through their heads, and I'm trying to understand as much as I can. That way I can relate to you and express what I'm trying to say at the best of my ability and also know that you are getting it. But from my perspective, people, they hit a certain age. It happens in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. Earlier, later, from cause and effect of their lives, from following a route that they don't believe in, from doing things for so long the same exact way, that they start to settle in the things they do. They start to settle in their career. They start to settle in their finances. They start to settle in their relationships, whether it's romantic or with their friends. They start to settle in their weight loss, their health. We like to settle in things. It's human nature. We want to find what's comfortable, what we can do easily, and then we go with it, because when we're comfortable, we're good to go. We feel safe. We feel protected. There's no risk. We know what's going to happen. We understand the results. And so even if we don't enjoy it, we stick with it. And that's kind of a terrifying thought. Like if I'm terrified and I know for a fact that the way that I'm eating is going to cause me to be diabetic probably within the next 15 to 20 years, but I continue to do it because, it's easier than switching up and having a meal plan and having to do this, then guess what? I'm probably not going to change, and I'm going to keep on going until I reach a certain point where I'm like, oh shit, I have to pull back. I have to make a change because this is detrimental to my health. And now I feel the physical consequences rather than know they're in there in the background. Or with their finances. what is it? 70 some odd percent of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm in college. I don't make the most money in the world. I'm definitely not by any means some kid that gets everything that's handed to them. Granted, my parents have done pretty well for themselves, and if worse comes to worse, I would get some assistance, but I try not to rely on that. I appreciate the gesture, but I try to do things for myself. And I've made plenty of financial mistakes, really dumb ones, but I'm happy that I made those mistakes. And I'm happy that I made them so early in life that now I'm on the process of fixing them, coming back from them, and then growing stronger. Because I think being comfortable in your finances means something completely different than being comfortable like I talked about in the weight loss. See, I feel like being comfortable in your finances is being comfortable that what you have is all you're going to get. And that you might get a raise in the future, a 50-cent raise, $1, whatever. You might get, a little bit more. Over the next 10 years, I might make, $5 more an hour. And that thought is just comforting because there's job security and you know what you can do with that money. And then everybody comes back to the same thing, that the money is the root of all evil type term. That it's like, oh, I don't need a whole bunch of money. Like, it would help. I don't think there's a single person. There's not a whole lot of people that are like, oh, if someone gave you like $1,000, you're going to be like, oh, no, take that away from me. But it would definitely help. And also, the term for that isn't that money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. Getting more money isn't a problem. It's not an issue. If your habits aren't good about it, then it becomes an issue because that money's not going to last. It's about money management. But that's a whole nother topic. We can get into that later. And hopefully, Aristides, if you're watching this, maybe you can hop on and teach about finances, but who knows? We'll see. We get comfortable in the things we're doing. We settle. We allow ourselves to get in that mindset. And I harp home the idea that we allow ourselves, because you got to understand, you are in charge of everything you do. You are 100% responsible for the things you do. You have to take that responsibility. And I'll be the first to admit that I do not do it all the time. I have a hard time doing it when you don't want to be the person at fault, but you are always at fault. If you feel like you're behind in life, which also you're not behind in life, you just have to find your timing. But if you feel like you should have something sooner, who else are you going to blame? You didn't do it 10 years ago. Why do you expect it now? Granted, 10 years ago, I was 11 years old. So I don't think I was in the right mindset to do anything. But nonetheless. So over the past year or so, probably a couple years, but more over this past year, where it's accelerated a lot more, is where I've kind of come into the thinking of, I want to push myself. And it started off more physical, wanting to do physical challenges, wanting to find those physical limits, because I fell in love with David Goggins' work, with his story, with his vigor, his perseverance, him pushing himself, becoming a Navy SEAL, and like eating dirt. And that's a gross understatement of the stuff he went through, but eating dirt to get to the place that he wants to be, mentally, physically, emotionally, just solid for him. And now, I believe that when you push yourself physically, you learn more about yourself, because you can visibly see the changes that you're making. You can feel where your head goes at when you face adversity. You can understand what's going on. And that's where it all started off. I wanted to gain weight. I wanted to feel stronger. I wanted to get bigger. I always started off, for those of you that have met me over the past year, like I'm a lot taller now. I weighed the heaviest I've ever weighed in a positive manner. I've had trouble gaining weight, not losing weight. So I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. And also, really skinny people have problems too. It's not all about the fat loss is the only issue. It's weight gain, and that can be a really, really big detriment to some people's self-esteem and their self-conscious. But that's a topic for another day. We got a lot of topics for another day, so I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to be able to just sit down and record stuff. But oh wow, I forgot my train of thought for a second. I'm going to leave all this in. I don't want this to be something where I break it apart and then I make it into tiny, tiny segments, and all of a sudden it's like feels choppy and it feels all cut up. I want it to always be a consistent stream of thought. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. That's on me. And that's kind of the way that I want to live my life. It's all open. There's no middleman. It's either me or it's nobody. So anyways, but yeah. So it's been something that I've consistently had on my brain, that never fucking settle. And again, it did start off physically, and then slowly mentally. I started reading books. I started learning more, going on YouTube, looking at videos, finding entrepreneurs online, trying to figure out what it is that they do that makes them different. Because at the end of the day, we're all people. We all have, for the most part, some kind of genetic root that matches us all together, where we're human. There's no one that's, better or worse. There's genetic factors. But at the end of the day, your genetics aren't necessarily going to make you more money, make you more successful, make you happier. To a degree, yes, but at the same time, you have to work on it for yourself. And it's those changes that you find that cause the biggest chain reaction down the line. And so I wanted to see, what is it that makes them tick? What is it that makes them be able to hit this extra mile, to reach this extra goal, to get so much further in life? Well, we all started out the same. We were all born. We're all destined to perish at some point. We all have this same destiny. So why is it that they've come so far in life? We have the same 24 hours, but they make 24 times my income. They seem 24 times happier. They seem 25 times more athletic, more fit. But we have the same time of the day. And so I can't fucking settle. And I gotta apologize to my girlfriend consistently, because I know that I am probably a giant pain in the ass sometimes, because I'm always trying to do something, and I'm unsuccessful with it 99% of the time. 99% when I try and do something, I fall flat on my ass and I fail. But the 1%, they get me excited. See, the 99% of the time, I'm supposed to fail. I'm supposed to not feel good. I'm supposed to not feel successful. I'm supposed to feel that pain that comes with it, that rejection. But then that 1% of the time, that it works, it gets me juiced. I get ecstatic. I am ready to attack the day. But it takes those 99% first. That 1% doesn't come at the beginning. It doesn't come at the middle. It comes at the very, very end. And if I settled for that 99% at that first, second, third, 58th, 75th, 89th, that 99th time, I wouldn't reach that 1%. And so I have to be on the path of never fucking settling. I have to be on the path of always going forward. And that doesn't mean that I'm this machine, that I'm just hustling 24/7, because I think hustle culture, in the sense of always having to be after the bag and not being happy, is such a dumb thing. Because if you're not happy in the things you do, and you're not going after your passions, like really going after your passion, the thing that's pulling your heartstring, then you're wasting your time. And that's settling too. You're settling for somebody else's dream that they put in your head because of Instagram or whatever the fuck you're looking at, and you're not being true to who you are. So I digress. Never fucking settle. What does it mean? Because I feel like I've been rambling a little bit. It's probably going to take me some time to get comfortable with it and to really feel the emotion and get into the groove, But never fucking settle. It's the constant and consistent journey to pushing one's boundaries until the absolute limit, and then realizing that there is more beyond that limit that you set for yourself. There is more beyond that barrier that you thought was possible. And I love to bring up the 4-minute mile when I talk about this, because before someone breaks the 4-minute mile, everybody thought it's physically possible. We hit peak performance for a human. It's impossible. Don't try it. It could possibly kill you to hit it, but don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth the effort. And then someone breaks the 4-minute mile. Running a mile in under 4 minutes. And then miraculously, after that, people start crushing it. More and more and more people are running less than a 4-minute mile. More people are going after it. More people are smashing records, because We can't imagine what's past our perceived potential. We can't imagine what that following step forward is. We can visualize it, which that's a really big thing that entrepreneurs use that I will admittedly say that I suck at. But you can visualize it. But you can't imagine the all-encompassing feeling and everything that comes around. You can't imagine the actual result to push forward. But that's the great part. People want to say that they hate surprises and whatever stuff like that. You want to be surprised in the situation with how ecstatic you feel. And then again, it's not about the result. And as cliche as it sounds, it's not about the journey either. It's about the process. Because the journey is like, what happened on the way there? The being result driven is great when it comes to deadlines, but if you only feel that emotion during the result, it'll be very short-lived, and along with that, you will not be happy. You won't be happy. But if you find the process, you get in love with some of the monotony, the troubles, the being punched in the face, the 99% over the 1%. If you fall in love with that 99%, you're invincible. Because no one can stop you. Because you don't take this is it as the option. You don't take this is all we got as the final step. You don't take that shit. You go for it. And you push forward. And you make it your own. And you let everybody know who doesn't think you can do it, that not only could I do it, not only did I do it better than you believe that I could, not only did I do it in a shorter amount of time, not only did I did it in a longer amount of time, not only did I accomplish this goal, but I did it on my terms. Not because of you, not for you, not in spite of you. I did it because this was mine. And I'm not focused on anything else besides what my goals are, because I will never allow myself to fucking settle again. And I believe in this. I have no idea where this brand is going. I don't have a business plan. I don't really have any routes to which I'm doing this. But I'm starting. I'm starting the process of whatever the hell this is going to become. And, with God's permission, if it's allowed, I want to reach more people. I want to affect more people's life. And I want to give them this meaning of never fucking settle. I want to give them that attitude, that positivity, that free range for them to allow themselves to unlock themselves, to take themselves out of their own head and say, I'm allowed to keep on going. I'm allowed to defy the people that are keeping me back. I'm allowed to completely go insane on my own personal success. And I'm excited about that. That's all I got for today. Not sure when I'm going to post this. Not sure where I'm going to post this. But I'm excited. This is a huge weight off my chest to finally get up and run. So, I hope you have a great day. I hope you get after it and then you do at least one thing today that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, a lot of bit uncomfortable, and that pushes the needle forward in your life. So, take care.